Let's talk about Anomaly mod packs today. If you're still confused about Stalker modding, and to give you a very simplified version, you have the 3 original Stalker games. Modders took them, merged them into one big open-world sandbox experience with better engine, optimization, and a lot of bug fixes, and that's Anomaly. In reality, there was 50 steps and different branches and forks in between. It's much more complicated and interesting than that, but the exact story is not relevant for this video. So the goal of Anomaly is mainly to make a stable, highly customizable platform for people to enjoy Stalker in an open-world, free-roaming style. And it was designed for modders to be the perfect starting point to start building add-ons and more content on top of it. Technically, you can play Anomaly just like that, straight out of the box. It will be a perfectly fine, enjoyable experience. But today, with more than 5,000 add-ons available for it, if you're not using any of them, you're kind of missing out. Better graphics, better sound, new weapon packs, new mechanics, quality of life optimization, there's some amazing stuff to try out there. But this crazy amount of additional content can get very confusing and overwhelming if you're new to Stalker modding. To be fair, that's even the case for veterans. Building your own custom version of Anomaly with all the add-ons you handpicked is amazing and something everybody interested in modding should try at least once, but it's very easy to start running into bugs, crashes, conflicts, compatibility issues, and the fun can quickly turn into endless nights trying to fix issues rather than playing the game. And here enters the big mod packs. It started with random people simply sharing the list of add-ons they like using and how they were customizing their games, and with time it evolved into big curated lists of add-ons, fine-tuned and tweaked to work perfectly together by the community. They became extremely popular for obvious reasons. They're much easier to install than if you had to figure out everything by yourself and do everything manually. I know that when I was still doing my own Anomaly builds, 60-80 add-ons was the cutoff generally, where I was starting to have a lot of issues, bugs, crashes, slowly going crazy trying to solve everything. Some of these mod packs today make 300, 400, 500 add-ons work well together with no problem. It's truly impressive. But more importantly, each of these mod packs offer a different experience, a different way to explore the zone. They can vary greatly in terms of balance, gameplay, and mechanics, what I would call the direction, the vision behind them. And you can choose between them and pick whatever appeals more to your playstyle. And the best is that they're still extremely modular. You can easily change and modify a lot of settings to tailor them to your liking. That's how Anomaly was built and the beauty of it. It's highly customizable no matter what. So today we're gonna go over all the big ones with some extra mentions at the end. Everything I'm gonna talk about is for the default versions, with default settings, the vanilla version of these mod packs if you want. Because again, they're endlessly customizable, but we have to start somewhere. We're gonna talk about vision, gameplay features, main mechanics, installation difficulty, performance, and my overall opinion on them, and what kind of player or experience they cater to. And I cannot start with anything else than Gamma, by far the most popular Anomaly mod pack these days, and for good reasons. If you want a mod pack that's constantly updated and maintained with the best of what all the recent add-ons have to offer in terms of graphics, quality of life, weapon packs, crafting, gunplay, gameplay mechanics in general, it's the real deal, in a relatively easy, straightforward package to install and keep updated. And yes, the installation process can look a bit daunting, but to be fair, it's mainly because a lot of you out there are dum-dums that can't follow a basic set of instructions, and they had to cover every single edge case so a monkey could install it. If you ignore the download times, it takes literally 10 minutes of actual work to install Gamma for hundreds of hours of free gameplay in exchange. But the main reason Gamma is so good and so popular, it's not because it's a big, beautiful package of all the latest cool add-ons. I mean, yes, it's part of it, obviously, but there's other packs doing exactly that. It became so popular because of the vision behind it, and how the game should be played. Everything is balanced, fine-tuned around it. The fact that you cannot buy weapons from traders, but have to loot and repair them is part of it, obviously, but it's much more than that. I truly think that Gamma is for people who, like me, and that's why I will always be a fanboy as long as it doesn't change, absolutely love the hobo stage. I would define the hobo stage as the first third of the game, everything before you finally manage to have a decent set of gear. It ends when you are ready to do the miracle machine, in my opinion. That's when the game truly feels like a survival game, having to scrap by, make whatever weapon or armor you find work, desperately needing some good ammo, saving all your mission rewards for a decent upgrade, or just to survive and buy some bandages and food because you ran out, where a good find on a stalker you kill or in a stash can completely change your playthrough and the direction you were going, and where every mistake will cost you dearly. That's the Gamma experience. It's brutal, it's immersive, it's designed to be slow, grindy, focused on scavenging and crafting, and makes progress extremely satisfying and rewarding. And this is why Gamma is so addicting. Yes, the game is beautiful, yes, the gunplay is amazing, there are so many mechanics and depths to learn and discover and so on, but no other mod pack has such a good, well-paced, rewarding progression. And when you're done with the hobo stage and the miracle machine, you're actually just getting started. Now it's hobo stage part 2. You have a decent set of gear, but you're facing bigger challenges and stronger enemies. So now it's getting better gear, upgrading what you have, working on better attachments, medicine, drugs, boosts, until you feel ready for the big next step, the Brain Scorcher run. And if you survive that, then you can start feeling powerful. Boast your amazing weapons and armors, start rolling over everything, and it feels good and deserving because you started in the mud, chased by Blind Dog, with absolutely nothing, and look at you now. So if you like the grind and slow, rewarding progression, with all the new graphical, quality of life and survival mechanics available, nothing comes even close to Gamma. And it runs great, much better than it used to. On my potato index, I'd give it a 3.5 in terms of performance. Okay, enough riding Grogstick. Next, let's talk about EFP, Escape from Pripyat. It hasn't been updated in a while, the devs are still working on it somewhat, it's not really clear if and when we'll get an update, and it's slowly fading out of relevance because of this. But there's still a lot of people playing it, and the community around it is still active. And let's be clear, EFP is a classic, a monument among the different Anomaly mod packs. There's absolutely no way I wasn't mentioning it in this video. I like the idea of the devs basically saying, the latest version is great, stable, we're happy where it is right now, and we don't feel the need to rush some new updates. And they're right, because in terms of gameplay, EFP is still really solid. It's mainly lacking in terms of visuals these days, it looks a bit dated, but it's not too hard to update it manually, to catch up a little bit with the latest improvements. That's what I did for this review. There's all the information you need on the EFP Discord, but I left a detailed guide in the description of the video, so your game can go from this to this. There's a lot more you can do, but as I said in the beginning, I want to stay as close as what these mods have to offer by default. So if Gamma is a long repair and crafting scavenger hunt, EFP is much more focused around gunfights to get loot and progress the game. You still have all the survival and health system mechanics, the need to repair, maintain and upgrade your weapons, some crafting, but everything is much simpler and straightforward. You also have a well-balanced economy where simply making money, saving for new toys and straight up buying them is part of the gameplay loop. It's a much faster and fluid progression, which is perfect for people with less time to invest in the game, who don't like grinding too much or just want a much more action-packed experience from the get-go. But don't get me wrong, it doesn't make EFP easy. One of the core features is the hardcore gunfights. The gunplay and ballistics are great, realistic, and unforgiving. EFP is hard, there's a lot more combat, and you need to prepare, be tactical, and be ready for it. That's where this mod pack shines. The best example I can give you is this. I'm generally not a huge fan of the magazine system. I always felt it just adds some tedium to the gameplay. Preparing your loadout, unloading, loading all the bullets, having enough pouches in your armor for quick access and reload, all of that without really increasing the difficulty or bringing anything meaningful. It's just like annoying to me. But I actually really enjoy it in EFP. And it kinda surprised me. I think it's because preparing carefully for every trip, making sure you have have every possible situation covered, special type of ammo, carefully prepared, especially if shit hits the fan. All of this is core to the gameplay, and that's how you survive. That's where the true tactical aspect of EFP really comes out. And if you enjoy the Warfare game mode, so basically turning the zone into a giant battlefield where the goal is to conquer territory, capture bases, make alliances and wars with different factions, I think EFP is the perfect mod pack for this. I really enjoyed the Global War mod pack for Call of Chernobyl, but I always felt it was lacking in terms of gunplay and all the quality of life and polished mechanics add-ons we can add to Anomaly. Turns out EFP is absolutely perfect for this. Warfare fits perfectly with the tactical, hardcore gunfight, action-packed oriented gameplay. I've been having a blast rediscovering Escape from Pripyat this way, and you can still play the main story at the same time if you want to. It's a great option in my opinion to try the mod pack for the first time or just rediscover it this way. And because it's a bit older, even with the graphical updates I talked about, it runs very well. Some stutters, but nothing too bad. A solid 4 on the potato performance scale. The installation is easy too. Unpacking a couple archives, copying them, linking stuff in MO2, really nothing complicated and accessible to everyone. Okay, next let's talk about Hazy's Anomaly Community Remaster, HSCR, because I think it fills a gap precisely between Gamma and EFP, and it might be the perfect mod pack for you that you never heard of. If Gamma is a long repair and craft scavenger hunt, EFP a hardcore tactical shooter in the Stalker universe, Hazy's Remaster is an experience much closer to the original Stalker gameplay, but remastered. It's a big upgrade of Anomaly with all the latest graphics, optimization and animation add-ons, all the quality of life, gunplay and survival improvements the community has to offer. It's also updated regularly and has a small but pretty active community. The best way I can describe it is when I was trying to make my own mod pack, basically getting all the add-ons that sounded cool and I wanted for my game, without anything specific in mind. I just wanted all the latest stuff that looked fun, new mutants to fight, new quests, new weapon packs, visual improvements and so on, but I failed to put everything together because of too many issues and conflicts. Well, Hazy's did it with his mod pack. It's basically Anomaly Enhance, a true remaster. If you're not looking for a new, groundbreaking way to play the game, just the best of what Anomaly modding has to offer right now, in a solid package, that's what you need. It's got great gunplay, the survival aspects are here, you have to be smart about how you manage your resources, but it's not grindy. You do your missions, you have a good sense of progression, and the economy and balance are very good. And honestly, it's just fun. I love that we have the pet companion add-on, the redone packs with all the new mutants, the toxic air mechanics. It's a great survival horror experience, exactly what Stalker should be. It's not taking itself too seriously, it's not obsessed by trying to have perfect lore and hardcore grinding gameplay, it's just a very refreshing mod pack, and why I think it fills a gap perfectly in between Gamma and EFP. You get all the latest improvements the community has to offer without the headache. It's a bit demanding performance-wise, with more bugs and little issues than other mod packs, so I'll give it a 3 on the potato scale. It looks beautiful though, I have to say, and it's very easy to install and update. You can do it manually or with an installer that takes care of most of the things for you. I really recommend it if you want an immersive, more casual experience. Okay, now a completely different mod pack that I wanted to talk about is the Old World add-on. This pack is the perfect example that if you can think of something, the Stalker community probably did it already. This mod pack is tailored for the people who enjoy this idea of merging the 3 games into a big open world sandbox experience with all the engine optimization that the Anomaly platforms offers, the stability, the extra add-ons available, but want an experience much closer to the original games. It's basically the perfect mod pack for purists, basically people who enjoy the old school atmosphere and simplicity of the original games. It's complete Stalker nostalgia with a bit more polish and optimization to make the whole experience smoother. Old World is not about adding all the new fancy features and mechanics like the previous mod packs we talked about, it's actually the opposite. It's removing the bloat, the complexity, and going back to the roots of the games. You will still enjoy better gunplay and animations with remastered weapons from the trilogy, improved enemy AI, a fully reworked economy, an artifacts overhaul, completely redesigned UI and some more, but that's it. It's improvements on the old school system, not adding mountains of random new content. It's overall pretty easy, the progression is fun, simple, and if you find yourself really enjoying it and want to dig deeper, there's some add-ons available for it. Not a lot, but one of the main ones brings all the gunslinger features to it. On the potato scale it's a 4, probably a 4.5. It's very easy to install, it runs very well with no issues. A great casual mod pack that goes in the complete opposite direction as everybody else, and shows you that you can still have fun without all the latest bells and whistles. And I wanted to finish this video by talking about Anthology, more specifically the new 2.0 version that came out recently. It's still in beta and rough around the edges, but already a great and very unique experience. I wanted to talk about it here because it fills another gap in the spectrum of what all the Anomaly mod packs have to offer. Probably the only thing missing to Anomaly is great quests and new storylines to discover. The main questline right now, which is the same for pretty much every mod pack, is not terrible, but it's not great either. Basically an endless loop of fetch, hunt, kill missions while slowly unlocking paths to the north. In a sense, it's not a giant issue. Anomaly is by definition a sandbox, make your own adventure type of game, but that's where Anthology comes in and tries to approach things differently. It brings into the Anomaly platform the full questline of the 3 original games. Right now it's only Shadow of Chernobyl and Call of Pripyat, but Clear Sky will come at some point, and a ton of questlines from excellent story mods like Pass in the Mist, Valley of Whisper, and much more, that you can now play directly in the Anomaly engine. Another aspect is that it brings a ton of new maps and fully reworked, expanded existing maps. And when you played Anomaly a lot, it's actually really fun to rediscover areas that look familiar but are completely different at the same time. With ton of new places to explore, new environments, it's really refreshing and feels like playing a brand new game at times. It's also using a different weapon pack that I haven't seen that much in Western mod packs, with ton of new toys to discover, a lot of new survival mechanics, artifact breeding, barter and trade, and it has bold, unique visuals that really adds to the immersion. I haven't played it too much yet, and I need to dig much deeper. I will probably do a full review on it at some point, but it's definitely worth trying, and it has huge replayability potential. Not in terms of grinding for a long time, but in terms of content, new areas and questline to discover. Still rough around the edges, but amazing potential if the development keeps going at this pace. And again, it fills another gap in what Anomaly mod packs have to offer, and it's really interesting just for this reason. It's not too hard to install, I made a video guide if you want to check it out, and in terms of performance, I'd say it's very similar to Hazy's mod pack. It's a bit demanding, it's a bit buggy, I'd say like a 3 on the potato scale. So not great, but not terrible. And I think that's it for now. I'm really curious about Anomaly Epilogue, but couldn't find much information about an English translation yet. Dark Signal and Expedition are 2 great Anomaly mod packs, but they're not updated anymore, so I think we covered all the big ones. And honestly, if you don't find something for you in everything we covered today, you can still learn to mod your own Anomaly. It's a fun and rewarding experience too. Okay, get out of here.